How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Today's going to be a pretty chilled episode, I can already tell. No reason. I'm a little bit sick, but I mean, I just feel like this is going to be a chilled day. It's going to be a chilled episode, not as much editing as usual. So just sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and let's talk about cryptocurrency. So, ladies and gentlemen, I noticed that nobody knows what they're talking about when they're talking about cryptocurrency. I didn't know what I was talking about when anyone mentioned cryptocurrency. I mean, we hear stories of people losing large amounts of money and some people gaining massive amounts of money within the cryptocurrency realm, and it's one of those things where it's just so well known, but it's not well known at all. Like, nobody knows how it works. So, I'll just start with the basics. What the frick is cryptocurrency? I know, I even put a swear word in there, so you know I'm very angry. Cryptocurrency is an online currency which in theory can be used to buy goods and services just like any other currency. Okay? In theory. So the reason why companies don't accept cryptocurrency is it is very volatile, meaning that one day it could be worth one Bitcoin or one Dogecoin or whatever can be worth 10,000 Rand, and the next day it can be worth 50. The highs and lows of this particular with just cryptocurrency in general, it's mind-boggling. Like, there's no other investment like it, actually. It's quite interesting, which is why I chose the topic. And when I was doing research, I found out that we need to stay away from this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Like Warren Buffett, the richest guy on the planet, basically. I don't know if he still is, but I'm pretty sure he is. He gave away a lot of money, but it doesn't matter. Richest guy on the planet's telling people to stay away from this stuff. He compared it to gambling even. Investing in Bitcoin is like gambling. So why is it like gambling? I wanted to figure out what makes this thing rise and fall like it does. And what I realized is there's loads and loads of different cryptocurrencies. I think the number that I saw in the article of my research was 1,500. There's loads and loads of different brands of cryptocurrency and stuff, which means there's a lot of scams. So the way they scam people is analysts and just CEOs that have created this coin or whatever. I'll use an example, okay? Let's say I make a Think Rich coin, okay? And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to buy this Think Rich coin. It's going to be the next thing in trading. You're going to put in 1 Rand and buy a Bitcoin, and in the next few weeks, that 1 Rand will turn into 10,000. That's the kind of things that these analysts are saying. And obviously they get all these people riled up, like, yo, this is insane. Like we don't see any other returns like this. And so people start putting money into Bitcoin. And putting money into Bitcoin basically means they exchange their money, so whether it's dollars, rands, or pounds, or euros, or whatever, they exchange it for Bitcoin, which is online currency, remember. And the more people keep buying Bitcoin, the more the price of Bitcoin goes up, and the more and the closer they get to hit the analyst's goal, basically. So the reason why it's a scam is that if anyone, I could make a Think Rich coin and say, yo, I don't know, I can make up a thing and go, in the next couple of weeks, this coin, according to our data, this coin is going to be worth 10,000 Rand. Currently it's worth 1. Invest. If I get enough people to get riled up and be like, yo, that's amazing, and they put in their money, and like I bump up the price of Think Rich coin a little bit, and they keep buying and they keep buying, and the market grows. If I get enough people to back me, I can actually hit that 10,000 Rand mark. But it's illegal. You can't do that. You can't just say, oh, I guess my coin's going to be worth this much in a couple of years, or in a couple of weeks, or in tomorrow. I mean, but that's why it's a scam, and that's why it's illegal. So yeah, what's it called? It's so difficult to figure out which coins are reliable, or which coins are actually not scams, and which ones are. Okay, it's very, very hard to do so because both are saying the same thing. Okay, Bitcoin, well, yeah, I guess like you could classify Bitcoin as a scam now because it's in a very, very bad state, but in the beginning, yeah, I guess you could. I guess it could be looked at as a scam because in the beginning it was rising, right? Yeah, it was rising intensely, and investors knew. Investors knew that this coin was going to be worth something, so they started putting money in, and then suddenly they started pulling out because they knew, okay, there's too many people jumping on this train. I'm pulling out, and as soon as people start pulling out, everybody starts pulling out. Remember? So when we're investing, there's something called a bull market and a bear market. So a bull market means that stuff value is rising. Doesn't matter if it's in commodities or if it's in cryptocurrency or if you're trading in milk, okay? If it is a bull market, it means that your milk is rising in price. Like everything's going well. It's good for your investors and it's good for your milk company, okay? But a bear market means that it's dropping, right? Now it's just a little bit of lingo that investors use. So whenever if you hear someone say, "Oh, it's a bear market at the moment. I think we might have a crash," or something like that, you'll know, oh, the market's going down. And when it's a bull market, the market's going up. So why does cryptocurrency have these massive ups and downs? Okay, so on paper, ladies and gentlemen, at the very beginning, why actual proper investors, well, you can't say proper investors, but really smart people invested in Bitcoin at first, because at first it was a brilliant idea. Basically, what makes Bitcoin different from any other currency like rand, dollar, pound? Bitcoin doesn't go through any bank. There's no third party like taking the money from this account and putting it in this account, and there's no like holder of the money. That was the brilliant part about Bitcoin. It was one of the reasons why cryptocurrency only came out in 2008. It could have come out a lot earlier, but people had to get over that hurdle of how the hell do we replace this third party, this bank, okay? And Bitcoin was the first one to do it, if I remember correctly. So this is how Bitcoin miners work, okay? This is the concept of a Bitcoin miner. You need to pay attention to this, ladies and gentlemen, otherwise you're going to be lost, and I don't want you to get lost, okay? So pay attention. It's actually not that it's not a very hard concept to get. But if you don't listen, you're gonna get lost. So with any transaction you make, okay, in the real world, with any transaction you make, you create a history of transactions with a company, and the company usually records that in a general ledger. Now, with what Bitcoin miners do, is they do something similar by adding transactions to a virtual general ledger called a blockchain. Okay, and once the Bitcoin miner confirms the transaction between the sender of the bitcoins and the recipient, he gets a bitcoins for his services. This entire process eliminates any need for banks, which is pretty cool. I'm being very, very surface level here, but it goes deep, 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 deep. Like there's algorithms, there's all sorts of nonsense, and I was watching this video and I was just like, it made sense, but there's no way I can convey it to you because I can't remember half of it, first of all, and second of all, I'm just like, I don't even know, bro. Like it was intense, but like there's lots of different algorithms and stuff, and there's lots of different things that go into cryptocurrency, and the reason why there's so many things is because there's no bank, right? But that's a good thing, especially in South Africa. Right? That's why really smart investors in the beginning invested their money into it, because in the beginning they saw opportunity in Bitcoin. They were like, yo, no bank? That's amazing. And that is amazing, especially in a South African context where the banks take away money for when you spend. They take away money when you put money into the bank account. They take away money every month. they take away money, yada yada, fish pest. They always, whatever you do, modern day banks in South Africa take away money just for doing their jobs, okay? It's ridiculous. But that's just how South African banks work. Actually, I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but overseas it's different. All they pay is like a maintenance fee for their account, and that's it. They only pay a maintenance fee. I'm so freaking jealous. I'm actually currently with Nedbank. Their rates are the lowest, so if you're a student and you want to get a student account, 100% Nedbank, I would say, because I did all the research, literally, like I was not getting scammed by these losers. So I looked at every single bank, every single big bank in the game, and I was like, which one is the best one? And F&B was close, so maybe if you really want to, go to F&B, but Nedbank is like literally nothing could beat Nedbank. It was so good. Like, their customer service is great. I can't recommend Nedbank enough. In fact, they're sponsoring this video. Oh no, they're not. No, they're not. I'm not that lucky. No. Okay, cool. So here's the reason why you shouldn't Bitcoin mine. I know I just said it's the safest way to make Bitcoins, right? It's the safest way to generate Bitcoins in the Bitcoin market, but you shouldn't do it. Why? Well, no one accepts Bitcoins, first of all, okay? No business accepts Bitcoins. I think I've said this in the beginning. No business accepts it. Why? Because the value goes up and down and up and down and up and down like every minute, okay? The bull and the bear, you know, like I was saying, like it's a bear market, it's a bull market, right? So in a normal thing, so let's say the stocks of Apple, right? Now this is a fairly stable stock, okay? When people invest in Apple, it's a big company. It's just dropped its new phone actually, so it's most probably a bull market. So they're gaining in value. People are buying their products. And this would be a pretty shitty time to invest, because you're actually supposed to invest when it's a bear market, when the market is low, okay? You never invest when a market is at an all-time high. Why? Because it's going to drop. 100%. It doesn't matter how big that company is. Doesn't matter how reliable they say they are. If they're at their highest point of returns, if their stocks are at their highest point of value that they've been in weeks, in months, they are soon going to drop. So wait for them to drop and then buy. Do not buy while it's high, okay? Don't buy when it's high, because that's what newbies investors do. They go, oh, Google just dropped its new phone and the stocks are rising. That's amazing. Let me buy. So then they buy, and the stock rises a little bit because they kind of got on the train late, so it rises just a little bit, and then it drops because like someone broke their phone, and then they complained to Google, and then like Google's name went down the toilet for a week or so, and so their stocks dropped. For the life of you, do not invest your money in a bull market, okay? Please. This is what every newbie investor gets wrong. Don't invest your money in a bull market. Always in a bear market. Why? Especially when it's a big company. Because you know, big companies are big companies for a reason. They've survived multiple very, very low points, right? Especially if they've been around for like a year or 2 or 3. Or actually, I would say about 2 to 3 years. If they've been around for 2 to 3 years and they're still going strong, you can bet your bottom dollar that they've been down a few bears. Well, yeah, they've been down a few low points in their career, in that thing's career. So, if you're a newbie investor and you want to invest in Nike, and the market's really low, don't be scared. Oh, Nike, I might lose my money. No, you won't. Okay? No, you won't. It's Nike. Okay? Just invest when it's in low and keep your money when it's high. Or actually, no. No. It depends on how you want to invest. So if you buy and at lower market and it rises and rises and rises, and you sell when you think it's at its highest point, I can't remember exactly what that's called, but that's an investment strategy, and it's a very, very good one if you want what's it called? If you want quick results, right? But if you're a long-term investor, you're not really looking for that. What you're looking for is companies that are growing in a bull market consistently. So now, obviously, that doesn't mean that they're constantly rising. That's just impossible. But like, you have higher highs and lower lows. So which basically means there's whenever the market whenever the stock rises, it's at its highest, and whenever it drops to a low point, but it never drops below a certain point. Okay, that's called a stable stock. It has higher highs and lower lows. But I'm getting completely off topic here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about investing when I should be talking about Bitcoin. Okay, so the reason why you shouldn't Bitcoin mine, ladies and gentlemen, is because criminal activity is a very, very common theme when surrounding Bitcoin. So the way Bitcoin works is because, like I was telling you, there's no bank account, or there's no bank controlling the money. It's very, very secure. It's still very, very secure, but it's also very, very hard to track. So criminals, what they do is they go onto the deep web, they go onto the black market or whatever, and they buy their drugs, you name it, okay, with Bitcoin, because it's very, very hard to track. And remember, it's all done via computer, right? These Bitcoin miners aren't banks. Your Bitcoin miner could be some oak in China, could be some oak in Nigeria. It doesn't matter, okay? Bitcoin mining can happen all over the world, and it's random every time. You don't get the same Bitcoin miner every time you pay with Bitcoins. It's just a random Bitcoin guy that goes, hey, let me help you with your transaction, okay? And he can, yeah, okay? So it's very, very hard to track where these Bitcoins are going. But you can be tracked, which is a problem, because if let's say you're Bitcoin mining and you're helping two people transact, you'll remember your computer's just running. There's no input from you. Your computer's just running and it's just helping other people. There's no input from the user. So your computer can help multiple criminals with illegal transactions without your knowledge or consent. Okay, that is the problem with Bitcoin mining. And I'm not sure about the rules and regulations, but I'm pretty sure that you can get a hefty fine for just being in that kind of transaction. It depends. Like if they crack down on a multi-million-dollar criminal transaction, and you were the Bitcoin miner, I'm pretty sure your ass is going to jail. Okay, so yeah, it's not a great way to make money. I mean, you would think it's like a stream of income, but it's just not worth it. I honestly think just stay away from Bitcoin, basically. So yeah, that was my thing. Okay, so in conclusion, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies made a lot of investors money early on. Okay, but today it's unreliable, it's shady AF. And businesses don't accept the Bitcoin for payments, okay? Unless you're paying your local drug dealer with Bitcoin, your incredible connection is not going to accept your Bitcoins, okay? GoPro is not going to accept your Bitcoins. It doesn't matter, okay? So just stay away from it, and the only investment with returns as high as Bitcoin claims is investments in yourself. Now, I was talking about that on my Instagram page, actually. If you haven't followed, there's a link in the description, as always. But literally, like, I cannot stretch this enough. I was able to take what I've learned from a 100, 200 Rand book, okay, and make a stream of income that I'm now earning 200 Rand a week, okay? That is more than double the value that I put in. That is more than triple the value I put in. And it's continuing to double and triple in value because I was able to use the stuff or implement the stuff that I was taught within that book. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want the best investment advice, invest in yourself. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but I promise you, if you implement the stuff, it it works. Okay, it works. And there's no other Bitcoin and there's no other thing that's going to get you the kind of results that you yourself will. Okay, educate yourself. It's the best way to make money. Okay, okay, so let's flip around the page, and that's all for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to do a recap because this one was quite a short episode. Like I said, it's going to be pretty chill today, so yeah, there's not going to be a recap. Just I hope you had fun. Just tell me if you want me to do more relaxed ones like this, because I try to keep the episode structured in a certain way, but like this one, I literally, like, there was so much stuff to talk about and so much stuff to do that I just couldn't structure it in a I just couldn't structure it. I mean, I structured it a little bit. I've got a piece of paper in front of me, but like I usually do. But yeah, I just decided, let me talk about what I know, and that's it. So yeah, if you like Think Rich and you like the quality and if you like the content that we produce on Think Rich, you will love the Instagram page. Like I said, I just plugged it. I know, I literally just plugged it, but I can't stretch it enough. I really, really try hard to post quality content every single day on Instagram. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you do. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen.